Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday, and it is Friday of a long weekend. Hopefully for most of you, it is, of course, July 4th weekend. Because of that, I met up with all of my regulars that you're used to hearing me talk to here on the show to find out what is happening across the Shenandoah Valley as far as July 4th activities and fireworks. So we're going to talk to Justin from the Winchester-Frederick County Convention and Visitors Bureau. We're going to talk to Olivia Hilton from the town of Strasburg. We're going to talk to Edie from the Luray Page Chamber of Commerce. We're going to talk to Nikki Kales from the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce. Then we're going to wrap up with Jerry Mayatico giving us all some fireworks tips for making sure that we get through this holiday safely and can actually enjoy it, no matter how little we may want to go back to work on Tuesday. So we're going to start off with Justin. Hey, Justin Kearns, you're my Winchester-Frederick County tourism guy. What's happening 4th of July fireworks in the city of Winchester and Frederick County?
I've got four things. So the city is doing the Let Freedom Swing thing. They're not doing fireworks, but instead of their day before 4th of July thing that they usually do, they've just announced that they're doing the Let Freedom Swing. So it's a free event. It's got the Silvertones and RTG, and it's going to be jazz, funk, jams, and jazz music and 1940s era. So it's like swing, it's like an American swing festival thing that they're doing on the 3rd. No fireworks.
And where is this?
Right there in Old Town at the Taylor Pavilion.
Cool.
From 3 to 9 p.m. on July 3rd. So free, they got dance floor, you can do the dance floor or whatever. There's going to be Winchester Brew Works, Valerie Hill is going to be there. They're donating a percentage of sales to the literacy volunteers of Winchester. Middletown 4th of July Parade and Fireworks on the 4th. There is the 4th of July celebration that the Parks is doing at Shenandoah. The park is open all day, fireworks at dusk. The pool is open until 8 p.m. So the pool will be open until 8, and then they do fireworks. Enter at the main gate or at Shenandoah High School. Amusements and food for purchase from 5 p.m. on, DJ playing after 6 p.m. So that's going on in Shenandoah. And then there's a 4th of July picnic put on by Old Town Cidery, and that's going to be Old Town Cidery, Bonnie Blue Barbecue, Winchester Brew Works, Sunday from 1 to 6 p.m. Slushy machines, fried chicken sandwiches, pulled pork.
So there is no shortage of fun July 4th stuff to find yourself in the middle of this weekend.
Yes, there's all sorts of stuff.
Well, thank you for taking a couple of minutes to give me the rundown on it. I appreciate it.
Thank you. If anybody needs any additional information, just go to visitwinchesterva.com and click on the events tab, and we have all of that on our calendar and more. You'll find everything you need.
Fantastic. I'm moving on now. Let's see. What direction should I head? Should I head to Luray next, Justin, or should I head to Strasburg next? You pick.
Hey, if we're headed south, Strasburg is next in line.
All right, you heard him. We are heading to Strasburg next to chat with Olivia Hilton. She is the interim, soon to be permanent, I hope, Director of Community Development for the town of Strasburg. We have now made it to Strasburg in the screen sense, not in the real life sense. I am on the screen with Olivia Hilton. She is the interim, soon to be permanent, I hope, Director of Community Development for the town of Strasburg. Justin told me, Olivia, when I finished my conversation with him, that you should be the next place that I come to. What is happening in Strasburg for the 4th of July?
Yes, Justin is not wrong. Make your way down the county, or hop over counties, I should say, So we have quite a weekend. We're having our Mayfest in July to kick off the 2nd and 3rd, and then our July 4th celebration. We always hold it on the 4th. So we are doing 6:30 to 9:30 is our festivities in the park. So it's live music by the Jack Dunlap Band. It's pony rides for free, face painting for free, kids activities. So it's open and free to anyone. And then we have it so inflatables, water slides, all the fun July heat kind of things. And then we have a grub hub. So we'll have 5 food trucks there in the area where you can get anything from brisket to funnel cakes to deep fried Oreos, lemonade, ice cream, all the things. So we even have CNC. So hopping over from Front Royal, Crazy Willie is going to be there with his ice cream and Italian ice. That's a good time there, right in the front of the Strasburg Town Park. And then we have fireworks at 9 p.m. Well, sharp-ish. And then we actually open the pool for an hour pool party after the fireworks.
Nice. Now that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I know some of the areas are keeping their pools open a little bit later, but they're not reopening after the fireworks. That's kind of a genius idea.
Yeah, we have a little after party in the pool. So it's kind of sweet. We allow the lifeguards and some of the town staff to set up shop during the fireworks. That's kind of the pool staff perk. But then, we reopen to the community after the fireworks. So it's pretty nice. So we close down the party at 11 p.m.
By then, everything's over anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You are full of funnel cake and sunburned and
And
hopefully not sparkler burnt and ready to go home.
and your eyes are sore from whatever crazy 4th of July suit that William from CNC has worn for the festivities.
Yes. I hope it's the lobster suit. It's not even relevant, but I just really like it. So we can make it work.
And where can people get all of the details for all of this if they want to start comparing and figuring out how much time they're going to spend at all of these different places in the Shenandoah Valley?
They can hit us up at Discover Strasburg on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any of the social media platforms, or they can just go straight to the website at strasburgva.com.
Fantastic. And I know you and I are meeting back up in a couple of Fridays to do our Strolling Strasburg. And am I right in remembering that we are going to the Pancake Underground?
Yes. And hopefully they're listening because they don't know that yet. So now they can mark their calendar. We are definitely hitting up Pancake Underground for sure, since we have their new location. And I'm still excited to try their food at the new spot, but guaranteed to be delicious.
And our goal is to actually do some strolling this time.
It's going to span about a block and a half. So that's pretty good for us.
Well, thank you, Olivia. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Now, remember, even if you want to take in the stuff that's happening at Strasburg, there are still other fireworks and things that are happening across Shenandoah County. So, for example, there is Independence Day fireworks happening at the Shenandoah County Fairgrounds. They are going off on Sunday, July 4th. It is free admission. The gates open at 8:30 p.m. Fireworks will start at 9:30 p.m. They even have a rain date of Monday, July 5th. So none of us want it to rain on our fireworks or on our parades. But if it does, you can still see fireworks at the Shenandoah County Fairgrounds on their rain date for Monday, July 5th. So that way you don't have to miss anything, no matter what the weather is. If you want to head a little further south in Shenandoah County, Newmarket is also having an Independence Day celebration. Theirs is actually happening on Monday, July 5th. It is going to be at the Newmarket Community Park. There is no admission fee. Activities start at 5 p.m. Live music starts at 6:30 p.m. Fireworks will begin at or about 9:20 p.m. So you can head over to Newmarket and have a fun day hanging out with a family. They're going to have yummy food, family activities, all kinds of cool stuff. So with that, we are going to wrap up that end of our trip down 81, so to speak. One more place I want to make sure you know is having fireworks, and that is Clarke County. There are free fireworks on Saturday, July 3rd. Clarke County's annual fireworks display is going to start, of course, sometime after 9 o'clock. We got to let it get dark enough so we get the full effect of those fireworks. It's going to be at the Clarke County Ruetan Fairgrounds. That is located at 890 West Main Street in Berryville. The Clarke County Community Band is going to do a concert of patriotic music that starts at 8 p.m. If you have not heard the Clarke County Community Band perform, you have got to get that on your bucket list. It is fantastic. But they're going to play at 8 p.m. on Saturday, July 3rd. The concert and the fireworks, of course, are free to the public, and that is thanks to the Bank of Clarke County. They have for years sponsored the fireworks in Berryville and Clarke County. So thank you to the Bank of Clarke County Foundation for hosting those. That's not going to cost you anything. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Edie in Luray to find out what's going on in Luray, Page County. Then we're going to talk to Nikki and wrap up with Jerry. So hang in there. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/Quick Money Chat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a Quick Money Chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/Quick Money Chat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday as you are listening to the show today. Hopefully, maybe you've even taken today off so that you get yourself a long weekend. We are running down all of the fireworks and July 4th activities that are happening across the Shenandoah Valley this weekend. So in the first segment, Justin from the Winchester-Frederick County Convention and Visitors Bureau gave us all of the details for everything that's happening in Winchester and Frederick County. Then we chatted with Olivia Hilton for the town of Strasburg about what they're doing. And then I mentioned at the end of that some of what's happening in Woodstock at the Shenandoah County Fairgrounds, as well as the town of Newmarket. Now we are heading over to Luray. We're going to chat with Edie from the Luray Page Chamber of Commerce and find out what's happening in the town of Luray. I think the town of Stanley has something going on, so she's going to give us some Page County firework information. Edie, what's happening in Luray Page County this weekend for the 4th of July fireworks and everything?
So this weekend, well, actually all week pretty much, we have had the Stanley Homecoming. It's an annual event. They celebrate when Stanley was founded. On Saturday at 5 p.m., they will have their annual homecoming parade. And then at 9:30, fireworks start at Edgood Park. And then on Sunday in downtown Luray, they are doing the Downtown Get Down. It is a new festival that we're trying out. There are going to be food trucks, 2 different areas for live music. The PAL Center, the Performing Arts Center for Luray, is also doing their annual Thunder Gun performance. It's a local group that comes and plays every year. And then at 9:15, they are doing fireworks at the fairgrounds.
So you get fireworks on Saturday night and Sunday night if you go to Page County.
Yep. You get them 2 nights. We like to spread the love.
Is that what you're doing? And these are all free events, don't cost anything to attend.
The only thing that would cost is if you do anything with the carnival. If you go to the Stanley Homecoming, you'd have to pay to get in, pay for the food, but everything other than that, it's free. Downtown Luray, for the Downtown Get Down, it's also free to attend. The only thing that would cost you money are the food trucks.
Is there a good spot? Do you have a good spot to recommend for the Downtown Get Down to sit and watch the fireworks? Where's your secret spot? Well, maybe you don't want to tell me because then it won't be a good spot anymore because you'll be too crowded.
A really good spot that a lot of people go to is the brewery, the Hawksbill Brewery. The beer garden has a great view of the fireworks. If you sit on the Greenway towards the northern end of town going out towards 340 where a lot of the stuff is going to be happening, that's also another great spot because it's not far from the fairgrounds. Another cool spot if you wanted a more removed kind of up in the air view is the Fort Valley Mountain. The pull off overlook for that is always really cool to sit and watch.
Well, thank you for those tips. I appreciate it.
You didn't think I'd have an actual answer.
I didn't warn you that I was going to ask you that question. So this is why I love that all of my people in their communities are people who are actually in their communities and they understand and know all of these secret little things.
We try. That's why my hair is so tall. That's where I keep the secrets.
Well, have a great 4th, Edie, and I will see you next week when we record Tourism Tuesday that people will get to hear in a couple of more weeks.
Yes. Yes, I will see you then.
All right. Well, now we're heading back to Front Royal. We are going to chat with Nikki Kales from the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce. Nikki, of course, always knows everything that's happening in and around Front Royal and Warren County. So who better to tell me what's going to be happening when it comes to fireworks and the 4th of July? And there's a couple of different things. People have some options this weekend, don't they, Nikki?
They do. And the beauty of it is, Janet, is that none of them are happening at the same time or even on the same day. So, you can take advantage of, several opportunities for fireworks, even beyond this weekend. So first of all, the Northern Virginia 4-H Educational Center is having their fireworks along with a concert by the American Legion Community Band. They're going to have food trucks, dessert trucks, some crafters, all sorts of fun stuff. Gates open at 6 p.m. and it's free to the public, but they are encouraging you to make a donation at the gate per carload. They are a nonprofit and of course can use the funds, to not only help offset the cost of fireworks because they're super expensive, but also to help with their programs and projects that they put on throughout the year. So that's happening Friday, July 2nd. And again, the gates open at 6 p.m.
I think those might be the first fireworks that are happening across the Shenandoah Valley. Most everybody else isn't starting any of theirs until Saturdays.
Well, exactly. There's your first opportunity. And then locally here in Warren County, Shenandoah Valley Golf Club is doing their 4th of July celebration, which they've been doing for years now. And it starts at 6 p.m. as well. And they have lots of fun activities leading up to the fireworks. Of course, it does. They'll have Robbie Lyman playing at one point. They have a DJ playing. They also will have a slip and slide, adult and children rated slip and slide. And then they'll have, their yard games and the fire pit, all that fun stuff. Go to their Facebook or to their website, Shenandoah Valley Golf Club, and you can purchase a ticket. And then that ticket also gets you a barbecue dinner, which, if you've ever had the food at Shenandoah Valley Golf Club, it's really good.
Right.
So
it's worth it even without the fireworks.
Exactly. So it's a fun, family activity. They always do a terrific job. So you have that option on July 4th. And then if you don't get to any of the July 4th celebrations, or you just want more fireworks and you can't do without, the Front Royal Volunteer Fire Department has their carnival, of course, starting on July 8th, and it runs for almost 2 weeks. And on the 15th, they will be having fireworks at dusk at the carnival. So there's another opportunity for you to see fireworks in the month of July locally, here in Front Royal and Warren County.
And of course, get the relish, because that's why they have the carnival, is to sell the relish for the people to buy.
Yeah, they could rebrand that like the Relish Festival, so.
Maybe you should talk to them about having the wine and craft and brew and blues and relish festival.
Yeah, we could sell probably a whole bunch more tickets if we said we had Fireman's Relish available.
Oh, that's true. So Northern Virginia 4-H is where you can get information about their fireworks. Shenandoah Valley Golf Club is where you can get information about those. And then I'm guessing Front Royal Volunteer Fire Department's Facebook page for all the details about the carnival.
They have a really nice post that they put out about a week ago that has all of the details, because, of course, with the carnival, there's a fireman's parade and there's the fireworks and those things. So yeah, you can find all of that information there.
Awesome. And so we're going to wrap up our quick little tidbit of a conversation, because now I gotta talk to Jerry Mayatico.
Oh boy, about the safety of fireworks.
Yes. And it made sense, but it's like, man, I hate when he knows what he's talking about, because it's really annoying to me.
Yeah. And he definitely knows what he's talking about on that subject.
Right? Yeah.
So, yeah.
So thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you get out and have a great weekend yourself.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to wrap up with some fireworks safety tips. And of course, Jerry can't ever just stay on topic. He's going to give us a couple of tips for while we're outdoors grilling under the carport, if we're using a smoker, things like that. I caught up with Jerry a couple of weekends ago when I attended the Rivermont Volunteer Fire and Rescue Department's ribbon cutting. They had their ribbon cutting and their uncoupling of the hose, which was a really cool thing. If you have not had the opportunity to get out to Rivermont and see that beautiful new station, absolutely try and make some time to do that. So I caught up with Jerry there. We chatted on the front porch and he gave me a couple of things for you to just kind of keep in the back of your mind when the kids are outside, you're running around with the sparklers, or you're not really sure whether that fireworks package that you bought is maybe legal or not. Chances are it's probably not, but here's what you need to know. So now it's time for a conversation with Warren County Fire Marshal Jerry Mayadico about fireworks safety, because I'm guessing, you would love to get through this whole upcoming weekend without a single call that's related to somebody being hurt or injured or their house being burned down because of fireworks. But the likelihood of that is sadly slim to none.
Lower your expectations.
So give me some safety tips. Tell me what people need to know.
Well, absolutely. And, this is certainly the time where we want to celebrate with family, friends, do cookouts, see fireworks. Ultimately, when it comes to fireworks safety, the number one thing that we need to remember is any firework that travels into the air, explodes, or makes a report is considered illegal in Virginia. You should only be utilizing and discharging lawful fireworks in Virginia. And that's what a lot of people call the boring fireworks. But ultimately, in Virginia, that is the law. Any firework usage should be done under the supervision of an adult. You should have some type of extinguishment source ready. That could be a bucket of sand, most commonly a bucket of water or a garden hose. If the firework discharges, leave it alone for a few minutes, then wet it down, then dispose of it appropriately. By dispose of it, put them all in a pile, let them sit there. Then you can dispose of them in your typical household trash.
Ideally, leave them sit overnight or something outside of a plastic trash bag.
Leave them sit overnight in a pile after you wet them down and soak them in water. Don't forget, some of our more common fireworks are some of the most dangerous. When I say that is because we underestimate its power, in particularly sparklers. We take a heat source that gets up to 1200 degrees Fahrenheit, we light it on fire, and we hand it to a small child. Underestimating its power and how actually hot that piece of molten metal gets to create that spark. Some of the most common injuries we see associated with sparklers are the kid will drop it and they'll step on it. So we tell everybody that you got to have a sparklers, have a bucket of water ready. When the kids are done with it, have them drop it into that. Ultimately, any firework usage needs to be done safely. That should be the most important aspect of our 4th of July celebration.
I got to tell you, as you're talking about how sparklers can be so dangerous, do you know what's playing in my head? An old Saturday Night Live skit with Dan Aykroyd and Candace Bergen, where she's interviewing him and he has these toys that are supposedly harmless. Oh, it's just a bag of glass. Kids love playing with a bag of glass.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Joe Dirt, where he goes to the fireworks stand and he says, "Oh, I got snake and sparklers." So when we look at fireworks, we have to know that, you want to make sure that when you use your fireworks, safety is that aspect that you're considering. Don't discharge it over top of dry grass, near combustible materials. Make sure that if your fireworks pointed in any direction, it's pointing away from you. Don't stand over top of the firework. Most importantly, don't underestimate that firework. Meaning, if it doesn't discharge, don't walk up, grab it, and try to relight it. Let it sit. Okay, it may have a delayed fuse on it. The fuse may not be burning as fast as you anticipate. So don't underestimate it. Most, if not all, the firework injuries that we see are preventable. You have the occasional malfunctioning of a firework, but if you walk away from that firework and outside of its damage range, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, duds are dangerous. They're a lot more dangerous than people give them credit for.
Well, let's talk about a dud. If you light a firework and it doesn't initiate, what should you do? You should wait a period of time. Then ultimately you want to take that firework and soak it in a bucket of water, okay? And let it sit overnight.
Yeah, because otherwise, an hour later, suddenly, boom.
Janet, the other aspect we talk about when we look at fireworks safety is typically with fireworks, there's some type of party going on. There's some type of cookout going on. And with that is, this time of year, we underestimate the power of our barbecue grill. So make sure we cook away from the home, that our barbecue grill isn't pushed up against the side of the home or near the siding of the home. Make sure that we attend the grill at all times. We're cooking a lot of meats, or smokers are very popular.
I was going to ask you, we just got a smoker, and I know they got really, really popular during the pandemic. Are they safer or more dangerous than a barbecue grill?
Well, while it's using lower temperatures, it's still using open flame. Pellet smokers, you don't control the fuel. You pretty much set it and forget it, right? That sounds like a sales pitch, right? You set it and forget it, and the auger puts pellets in. If you don't clean that trap out periodically, what happens is it's going to overload that fuel in that box, and you could have a flaming event. Okay, if you clean your smoker out, don't underestimate how hot those embers can be in that pellet canister. Okay, they can still smolder just like ashes out of your fireplace or wood stove. They should be handled accordingly.
And give them a little bit of time to cool down. Don't think that as soon as you take the meat out, you finish eating, you come back an hour later, you can clean that out, because they're still going to be hot.
No, absolutely. You need to provide its time. You need to water it down. You need to dispose of it properly.
Well, thank you for taking some time out of your Rivermont Fire Station ribbon cutting day to give me these fire safety tips. I appreciate you giving me a jump on a radio show that we're recording a week ahead of time.
Well, I certainly appreciate you coming out and all the support you always, and the station, provides the fire and rescue department.
Well, that's it. That's all I've got. So if you are all about the fireworks, it looks like you can take them in several different places on Saturday, July 3rd, several more places on Sunday, July 4th, and maybe even, Newmarket is actually having theirs on Monday, July 5th. So you could make a whole weekend of nothing but fireworks. Pack yourself a picnic lunch and head up and down 81 and all across the Shenandoah Valley. However you choose to enjoy the 4th, I hope you have a blast doing it. I, of course, will be watching the fireworks that Middletown is having that Justin touched on briefly. We also had a whole conversation last week with Charles Harbaugh. He is the mayor of the town of Middletown, about what the Middletown festivities are going to look like. I, though, am not leaving the driveway to do it. So I will get to enjoy the fireworks from the driveway, and hopefully the puppies don't have a fit. Hopefully they don't end up being those dogs that are not all that fond of the fireworks. But we're going to put them in the house, run the fan, turn the TV on, let them watch Law and Order for a little while. Of course, I won't be here on Monday, so meet me back here on Tuesday. It will be Tourism Tuesday, Shenandoah County edition. That means Carrie Hahn, of course, will be involved. So we'll have that show ready to go for you a few minutes after noon. Meet me back here then.